This episode of Another Happy Pod is going to contain spoilers. If you've not experienced the content yourself, please go ahead and do so before coming back and listening to the boys ramble on about it. Thank you very much.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Another Happy Pod, the show where we talk about pop culture, movies, TV shows, and occasionally video games, and try to keep things a little bit more positive and optimistic. We don't always succeed, but we do have a good time doing it. My name is Nathan, and as always, I'm joined in person for the first time by the biggest in the West.
In the West? In the West?
Yes, the biggest West London, that's where we live. Lawrence Thomas Heisey. Hello.
Hello.
I can see you.
I can see your face.
I can touch you.
Let's touch. We just touched.
We touched.
It was great. In this audio medium, I'm glad that you experienced me and Nathan touching hands. Nathan, you've been staying for the past couple of days.
I've been here since Monday. It's currently Wednesday at the time of recording.
It is indeed.
Never realised how loud the traffic outside your house is.
Oh, it's noisy.
So yeah, we're together.
We are.
We've had a fun time.
We're gay.
Okay. we may have had a few little beverages last night.
Yeah, things are a bit worse for wear this morning. Yes. If you could see the state of the table, so far we're surrounded by some cherry zero sugar Coke, some raspberry vodka, some honey whiskey, some apple whiskey, and a packet of Haribo straws.
And let me tell you, we're not feeling good, but we'll power through. Because what are we talking about today, Lawrence?
We're talking about The Suicide Squad.
Not
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it's a different movie.
It's a different movie.
It's a bad movie.
With a very different title. The Suicide Squad, however, is a new movie.
Yes. Tell us about it.
All right. So it's a semi sort of slash reboot slash reimagining slash different version of in the same sort of character-esque universe.
You could say it's a sequel.
I mean... Yeah, so the Suicide Squad is about, it's basically like a Black Ops, can you say Black Ops operation, or is that like a double negative? Black Ops is operation.
Black Ops is operations.
It's a Black Ops team, which is basically, they've got the nickname the Suicide Squad. It's actually Task Force X, and what they do is essentially take in bad guys who have unique abilities, in other words, the DC like rogues gallery of villains. And what they do is they enlist them for missions, and basically the deal is every mission they successfully complete is like a reward is given to them, maybe time to see their family, maybe time off their sentence.
Isn't it 10 years off their sentence?
In this one it is, but I think because then there's multiple ops that they go on, so maybe they get different rewards each time.
Maybe.
It comes to the point where you owe them 10 years in prison.
I'm done.
Yeah. Amanda Waller's like, oh, well, for the next sentence you don't have to do anything. But yeah, and then the idea there is that if they go off mission, there is a kind of a nano bomb the size of a little rice grain injected into their head. And if they go off mission, Amanda Waller reserves the right to just explode their head.
Yes.
Which
she does.
Which she does. And she...
Once.
Yeah.
Surprisingly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, she almost does it twice. She goes to do it twice.
Yes, but the actual act of killing someone via bomb.
Yeah.
People die.
Oh, many
a lot of people die.
Yeah.
But by the act of the bomb, it's only one person.
Yeah. So when they announced this a while back, and obviously James Gunn directed it, who is well known now for like excelling in ensemble movies with Guardians and Guardians 2. What did you think? Because I'm pretty sure you weren't the biggest fan of the first one.
No, it's a bad movie. Yeah. And I don't like to say that because it's something someone.
But David Ayer's seen dead people.
David Ayer has had a hard life, so he's allowed to make a bad movie. Okay.
I will say this for David Ayer. I mean, because we watched the first original trailer of the Suicide Squad, of Suicide Squad 2016 this morning, and what that trailer suggested the film was about, and what the film came out and ended up looking like are two very different projects.
Yes.
I get the impression he was very much shafted by Warner Brothers.
Absolutely.
But there's still material in this that I know would have been in his cut because they're not reshoots.
Yeah.
And it's still not good.
There's a lot of... Well, there's a lot. Let's just say that. But so I wasn't really a fan of that movie. It was fine in parts. It's a mess. Everyone knows it's a mess.
Yeah.
It's just it is what it is. So when they announced The Suicide Squad was coming out and it was James Gunn, you immediately think, oh, okay, because the first one was kind of a rip-off of Guardians of the Galaxy anyway.
Yeah.
It was trying to capture that same sort of...
The music, the punky
throwback
groups,
music, the dysfunctional family vibes and all that sort of thing. So it was really kind of capture that sort of thing. So James Gunn, a great choice. I think this was when he was just kicked off Marvel.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, so DC poached him.
Yeah, it's important to know that he literally, at the time of signing this, I think like a month prior, he'd been fired by Disney.
Yeah.
For saying some things 10 years ago that were a bit distasteful.
But yeah, so I was excited to see the Suicide Squad. I was excited to see what James Gunn did. I just knew straight up that whatever it was going to be more, well crafted than the movie we got in 2016. It was going to be a better translation, I guess, of these characters. Yeah. And it is. When we were joking yesterday because we saw it together again, another first for another happy pod. We were joking how in the first movie we could not care less about Rick Flag.
Yeah.
He was just the most boring.
This is Katana. She's got my back.
That was his only good line. It's not even a good line.
It's not even a good line.
It's just
a
funny.
meme.
Yeah, exactly. So we only like it because it's a meme. Yeah. And we was joking that we couldn't care less if anything happened to him in that movie. But we really liked him in this movie.
He's brilliant.
He's really good.
And this is what I was saying to you yesterday. It's a testament that Joel Kinnaman is a good actor.
Yeah.
And he had the ability to bring a good performance to Rick Flag, otherwise known as probably the most boring character in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Because
literally.
he's the straight man that is the bitch to Amanda Waller.
Yeah.
So while everyone else is having fun and making plans, he's the guy that's going to be left out of those conversations and scenes, etc.
Yeah.
But he's great in this. Like in this one. And compared to the first one, it's just so... Like you say, he was so boring in the first one. And that's not to discredit him, because clearly he's capable of doing this character well. And it's just about... I think that comes mainly from the studio and the director just embracing that this is a dumb fucking thing.
Oh, 100%.
This is dumb as shit.
Yeah.
And if you try to go in and be all dark and gritty and try and take a big starfish seriously, then you just make yourself look like an idiot.
Well, you say that, but Starro has always been a laughable villain. He's always been a ridiculous concept. It's just a big alien starfish.
Yeah.
That's it, really.
Yeah.
They actually managed to make him quite terrifying.
And sympathetic at some points.
Yeah, as well. Yeah, because of... Yeah. But we'll get to all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, Joel Kinnaman, not the only returning cast member. There's 4 returning cast members.
There's Harley, there's Captain Boomerang, there's Amanda Waller, and there is
Rick
Flag. Yeah,
so it's just those 4.
I think so.
Yes.
I could be wrong.
I think it is. I can't remember anyone else. So Captain Boomerang is in the movie.
Oh, he's in the movie.
Not for long.
Nope.
But he's in the movie.
And this is so. Immediately, one of the biggest complaints with the 2016 version of this film is that it's the Suicide Squad, and one of them got killed, the other one sacrificed himself for his family, which he knew for 3 hours. So essentially, they all get off scot-free, and they get off scot-free because Warner Brothers were shit scared of killing Harley Quinn, i.e. a big IP for them. They probably were thinking, we paid a lot of money for Will Smith, and if we want him back, we can get him back, so we're not going to kill him. And they probably just, I don't know, I guess they just didn't pull the trigger on a lot.
But there was no reason why they couldn't have killed Killer Croc or...
Yeah.
Who else was on the fucking
I think
team?
they thought this film was going to do a lot better than it did.
Yeah. And by this one, you mean
2016.
Yeah.
But so I think... So getting back to the 2021 film. So pretty much the first scene does everything right, because if you're James Gunn, you realise that the last Suicide Squad movie didn't go down a treat. You need to get in and you need to kill people very quickly, and you can't just kill unnames because no one cares.
Yeah.
We had a connection to Captain Boomerang, whether the movie wants you to know that or not. It's consciously aware of the fact that we still know Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang.
Yeah.
So it's a shock to see him die because we've got a whole 2 hours of previous context. Whether it's canon or not, who knows? But it's a good decision because subconsciously we still know it. And he gets fucked.
Mashed, mate.
He gets sliced to pieces.
Yeah, he gets like I don't know what it is.
It's like a load of shrapnel just
yeah,
sticks
just
into
straight
his body.
through him, and then he gets burnt alive, doesn't he?
Pretty sure the helicopter lands on him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's just obliterated.
Oh, he's dead.
Essentially, he's very much dead.
Yeah.
There's no coming back from that. But yeah, I mean, and so half of the team as well, just in like the first 5 minutes.
I think there's about 7 people that land on the beach.
There's 2 squads. There's an A team and a B team, and
Yeah.
there's only 2 surviving members of the A team.
That's what I'm saying. I think 7 people land on the beach and 2 of them get out.
Yeah,
And they don't even get out. They both sort of semi get captured.
yeah, exactly.
Or so you're led to believe. Yeah, in Rick Flagg's case. All right, I'll tell you what. One big thing. Part of the reason that I just could not stand the 2016 version.
Yeah.
Like when it came out, like I got out, don't get me wrong, I got out of the cinema and I was young. I got out of the cinema and went.
You loved it.
I didn't love it.
You thought it was cinema.
Yeah, mwah, chef's kiss. No, I liked it, and I didn't
You got
like
a framed poster of Margot Robbie's arse.
Yeah,
on
you
the
know
wall,
I did.
didn't you?
No, but I liked it because it was a new superhero movie. I liked it because it was like loud and big and dumb. And then I thought about it more and more, and I actually went, that movie was not very good. Like if you just look at what it should have done as a film and what it didn't do.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then one of the main criticisms I had of it was I think Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is perfect casting. Like there's not a lot of people that would disagree with that.
No, she's really good.
But my God, she's just a sex object.
In 2016.
In 2016, she's licking bars. She's literally, her introduction is her character doing a pole dance.
Yeah.
Like her entire motivation.
She's literally given as a prize at one point.
Yeah,
to Common.
She's whistled like a dog to come over to the Joker.
Yeah.
And whilst I get that there's, the Joker
She
is
wears
abusive,
a coat that says property of the Joker
yeah,
on the back.
and that's fine if you're doing the whole like the Joker owns her and is abusive towards her and stuff. But
Yes.
maybe don't make it so desirable looking. Maybe don't make her spend the entire movie going, but I miss him. I love getting abused.
Don't glamorize it.
Yeah. And if you need further proof of that, just look at how many fucking Halloween costumes were worn in 2016 of those two, which were worn by couples. And I'm saying, so you're implying that you beat your girlfriend? Anyway, this film, it worried me for a minute. It took it in a direction and I went, please don't.
So Harley gets captured by this. So there's like a coup. There's like a Guatemalan or somewhere like a Latin American island nation, and there's like a military coup, and like the government is overthrown and all that sort of stuff. And Harley is captured by this new regime, this military regime, but she's captured to become essentially a bride of the new president.
She's there by admission because the people like her, and she's like, Harley Quinn is a big symbol of like American revolution and non-conformity.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
So they all love her.
Yes, and then Harley and the president, they have like a series of dates all over like a day, I guess.
It is one day.
Yeah. And they just do a lot of stuff. They they hang out with birds and have a dinner and get to know each other. And then he asks her to marry him. And then they fuck.
They do.
Fair enough.
She loves it.
Yeah, she loves it. She initiates it. She's the one who initiates that. So fair enough. But then she kills him.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Thankfully.
Yeah, because she said what I like is she said how she told herself if she ever noticed any red flags and potential guys again, she was gonna just straight up do the right thing and kill them.
Yeah.
which is pretty great. I was that whole storyline. I was like, where's this going? I'm not sure about any of this.
I was
Harley
really
being a prize bride again. I'm like, we're treading some dodgy ground here.
And I think maybe James Gunn had some big balls on him. Yeah, because I think he expected people to do that, and it did feel like this is how you do it. Like, this is how you show that this character's capable of being abused and manipulated, whilst at the same time allowing her to make choices as her own person.
Yeah.
And giving her power that she did not have in the 2016 one, which was taking matters into her own hands and objectively saying no.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was great. And I think it shines through in Margot Robbie's performance. I think she's a better performer in this movie.
Margot Robbie's great in this.
Yeah.
She's always great. It's like, even in Suicide Squad, you know, sure, the material she had to work with is not great. Sure, she was objectified throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
She's still great, though. She's still one of the best things about that movie.
But that's what I'm saying. So when it's like, it's that, the thing that bothered me about that was it's great casting, not great material. When it's great casting and great material, she's on a different level.
Yeah, she shines. We've already talked about how much we both love Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Again, she's great in that.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can. And I was I owe Nathan £5. I bet that Harley Quinn would die at the end of this movie. I thought she would serve as like an emotional kind of crux of the ending. That didn't happen. I owe Nathan £5. What do you think of the others? So you got, all right, we spoke about Rick Flag. So like, what do you like different about him this time?
So he's, well, in Suicide Squad 2016, he was basically, like you say, literally, he was just Amanda Waller's bitch.
Yeah.
He was just there to enforce her law because she couldn't physically be there. And that's really it. And keep the squad in line.
The line, "Lady, shut up," rings true.
Yeah,
yeah.
Exactly. And he was just bland. He was white bread. He was unflavored chicken. You know, he was, everything about him was just bland military guy. They've actually given him a personality this time.
Yeah.
His hair's down. It's a little messy. He's got tattoos. You know, he's wearing a bright yellow shirt, and he's actually having fun with the squad
built
as
like
well.
A brick shit
He
house.
is, yeah.
I didn't know he was that jacked.
He's actually having fun with the squad as well, and he does have more of a personality, which I think the main reason why he's better in this movie than in 2016 is because, like you say, in 2016 he is just Amanda Waller's bitch.
Yeah.
He has nothing to do other than enforce her law, and in this movie he actually goes against that.
Yeah.
He actually basically tells Waller to fuck off.
Yeah.
And he's like he's gonna do something which basically the opposite of their mission. Their mission is to like destroy evidence, essentially.
Yeah.
That's not what they've been told.
Do you want to go into that?
But yeah.
So the US has an ongoing relationship with this place that they're in. I forget the name.
Yeah, I'll look it up now.
Yeah, they have an ongoing relationship where experiments need to take place.
Corto Maltese.
There we go.
Yeah.
So experiments need to take place, but they can't take place on US soil. So US astronauts go into space. They find this creature, which ends up being Starro. That tape is then obviously taken back down along with Starro. And the Thinker, played by Peter Capaldi, who is great in this as well. They do, over 30 years, they do experiments.
Yeah, 30 years.
And we're led to believe that the entire mission is you got to go in and destroy some evidence of that.
Yeah.
We can't have shit getting out.
But that's not what they're told.
No, they're not told that.
They're told they're just basically like...
Go in and destroy it.
Yeah, just clearing out the monster or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just wipe it out because, you know, a weapon of that size is dangerous to the US.
Yeah.
What they're not told is that the US were basically in bed with these guys the entire time.
Yeah.
And pretty much had funded 30 years worth of torturous research that has killed thousands of innocent people.
Including men, women, and children.
Yeah. Rick Flag obviously finds out about that, and he has a big complex because in this version, like you say, in 2016, he was a run-of-the-mill soldier.
Yeah,
in
generic
this,
army guy.
Yeah, in this, he joins the military to do the right thing, and that's reflected in the fact that he helps the freedom fighters. He doesn't just dismiss them as an opportunity for him to get out and then go back to doing whatever.
Yeah,
he works with them. He has a lot of sympathy. He puts the mission on hold to go and rescue Harley when she gets captured. And in this, so he has a great line which I thought was fantastic, where he said, "I joined the military to serve my country, not be its puppet."
Oh yeah,
which I thought was great. He has a personality in this, which he didn't have,
and he's given something to do. You know, he's given a really good moral backbone, I guess, at one point,
which is unceremoniously stripped away. By
Peacemaker,
an amazing character.
Yes,
played by an actor that I would not have expected this.
You say that, but I think John Cena, he's always been quite comedic. I don't think necessarily to this extent, but he is really funny. He's a funny
He's
guy.
a highlight of this. He's
Yeah.
a big highlight
He's
standout.
really good.
And he's having the time of his life. And I said to you in the car,
Yeah.
the reason why I didn't expect this to work as well is because John Cena is typically given the roles that go to Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
He's typically given the haha, I'm muscle dad.
Yes.
Haha, don't, my daughter has a boyfriend, I will intimidate that boyfriend.
Yeah.
He's given those fucking generic, really boring, run-of-the-mill comedy roles. And he's good in them, but they are always wasting his potential.
Yeah.
And in this, my God, he gets to do action, which obviously is his bread and butter. He gets to do comedy, which he shines through with.
Yeah.
Like, he's a very good character. And genuinely, for a man that's wearing a red tight shirt, who I've seen in his tighty whities, right? And as Bloodsport even says, wears what looks like a toilet seat on his head.
Yeah.
He's terrifying.
He is brutal. Like, and they describe him. He says himself, there's not a man, woman. He's called Peacemaker because he loves peace, and his goal is that he wants peace. But he will get peace by any means necessary, including killing men, women, and children without a second thought.
I love peace. I'd do anything for it. Even if I had to kill every man, woman, and child to get it.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's what it plays with. That's what it comes down to. Again, it's a great moment towards the end of the movie where you do have this standoff between Rick Flag and Peacemaker, because Peacemaker, he wants peace. If the American people find out that their own government has been funding and doing this torture and research for 30 years, that's not going to be peace.
Yeah.
There's going to be riots, protests, insurrection, all that sort of stuff. So, yes, okay, it's not great, but it's peace. A dictatorship is not great, but it's peace.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the amazing idea behind the character. And I think his performance brings complexity to it. There's a great moment where Ratcatcher 2, she gets
a great character,
amazing character.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they're all fucking great. In this. she gets the disc drive that Rick Flag died protecting, which he was going to take back to the American press and get out.
Yeah.
Which would expose the travesty and the torture and everything. Ratcatcher 2 gets this disc and runs like fuck until she's obviously outmatched and about to be killed. At which point she brings up an incredibly interesting point, which I loved, which was like, he said, I can't let that disc get out. And she said, so why not just shoot the disc? Why do you kill me?
Yeah.
And he says, because I'm thorough. But before he says that, he hesitates. Like, he is confronted with the fact that this man, he's just a psychopath.
He is.
Like, he's nothing more than a psychopath in a stupid costume.
A talented psychopath.
A very talented
So at the beginning of the movie, which is fucking great, there's a scene where him and Bloodsport, who basically are the same, and they even say that in the movie, they are the exact same. They have a moment where they're kind of, showing off and trying to outdo one each other.
Yeah.
Where they're going through a camp of what they believe to be enemy soldiers and just killing everyone one by one.
Yeah.
And it gets more ridiculous and bizarre as it goes on. It starts off with just like, headshots and slit throats, and then by the end, they're, fucking burning people alive and shooting a man in the dick and electrocuting someone in the bathtub.
Yeah.
And shooting behind your shoulder while you're not even looking. Just levels are ridiculous. We later find out that it was a camp of rebel soldiers who were there to help them, that they just needlessly slaughtered. That was fucking hilarious.
It's a great joke. It's a very good joke, and
It's just a moment of realization on their faces.
and it's telling as well, like, because it's assumed like by them that they don't look like Americans, therefore they're the villains.
They've got guns. So
they can't possibly. Is that a bird?
What the fuck was that?
Is there a bird in my house?
What was that?
I don't know.
Oh, he came from over there.
That's what I thought. Anyway,
That was odd.
there's a bird in my house. And that's a great joke. But there's an amazing bit at the beginning. So Bloodsport. He's told by Amanda Waller, everyone on the team is selected for their unique capabilities and skill set, and then immediately Peacemaker has his cell door opened, gives his backstory, and it's the exact fucking same.
Yeah.
And then Idris Elba gets to do what he does best in this, which is deliver dry British wit and sarcasm.
Yeah.
And he's very funny in this.
He is very funny.
Like, but not he's almost playing the straight man, and his reactions are exactly what pretty much all the punchlines are.
Yeah.
Like, everyone around him is just doing some dumb shit, and then it cuts to his kind of gravelly voice going, "Oh, for fuck's sake."
He's kind of the lead.
I think so.
Yeah, he's kind of the lead. And Amanda Waller even says like she wants to make him a leader because he wants fuck all to do with Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
He doesn't want a 10 years off a sentence. There's nothing they could offer him that he wants. So they essentially have to force him into doing it by threatening him with fucking, his daughter, who's a bit of a delinquent, and at first as well, I was worried that it was just, it's Deadshot again. It's a guy who can shoot well.
Yeah.
He's got a daughter that he cares about.
Never misses his target.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do bad. But it's not that at all.
No.
It's not. And I'm glad that they did differentiate it because his relationship with his daughter is clearly very strained. It's not like Will Smith and his daughter in 2016 Suicide Squad. It's clearly, very sweet, very caring. He
I love you, Daddy, but you do bad things.
Yeah. He wants her to see him in the best light. This movie, you see Idris Elba and his daughter just full on screaming at each other.
Yeah.
Across the prison. What do you call it? The phone thing.
A little cell thing.
Yeah, a meeting, whatever.
The glass panels by the phones.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Which is great. It's just a great way to differentiate those characters because they are similar, in terms of abilities and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good.
No, that was good.
And Bloodsport again, just Idris Elba, always amazing.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
So then you have Ratcatcher, who I said I really like as well. She's just so she's always tired. She just always wants to have a little nap.
She can't be arsed.
She just can't be bothered with anything, which I think is great. It's very relatable.
Yeah.
But she's also really empathetic and kind. She just naturally wants to help people. Really.
Values instilled in her by
exactly
her dad, played by Taika Waititi.
Yeah. And there's a really great moment between her and King Shark at the moment, towards the beginning of the movie, and a lot of times I've kind of I'm getting used to having a very sweet moment and just expecting at any moment a joke is going to come in. It's just going to just ruin all of that. But it never happens. It is just a genuinely nice moment that they have together.
Yeah.
Where they become friends, essentially.
Yeah. And it, like you say, because MCU has programmed us to think stuff like that. And whilst I'm not shitting on any of the MCU movies, I think they're their own thing. There's a reason that Iron Man 1 is a standout compared to the newer ones because they have fixed into a formula.
Yeah.
And for those people that don't want that, it's unrealistic. It's a $1 billion empire. They know what makes money, and they're going to keep making fucking money.
Empire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we have been programmed to think that that's the way that it goes. And so when it's not, and when it's there is a surprising moment, which is why I think Guardians was so refreshing when it was.
Yeah.
Is because it really focuses on a nice human connection. And at the times you least expect, and then other times they do undercut it with a joke.
They do.
For example, the man that the French guy that gives Harley the spear.
Yeah.
He is dying in her arms, and she reaches out her hand. The emotional music swells, and she just slaps him in the face.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What? This is so fucking annoying. You just died in the middle of telling me something."
Yeah. But that works for Harley though as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It works for the character of Harley.
Yeah.
But then again, you do have moments, and me and you both saw this coming a mile off. There's the moment with Polka Dot Man. He's attacking Starro. He's chopping off his legs, whatever, and he's having his big moment. He's doing his heroic act, and he's finally gotten what he wants, which is to be a superhero. A line which he screams out loud to Bloodsport. It tells them, "I'm a superhero." Wide shot. We know what's coming next. Bang.
Bang.
He's gone.
Yep.
Yeah.
There goes one of the little feet of Starro.
Yeah.
What are they called? Points? Feet.
Yeah.
Feet, why not?
Yeah.
Little shoe.
Start points. I don't know. Whatever. A star. He's a big star.
Yeah.
What do you want from me?
So what I was quite surprised at was that basically all of these people have, and this is something that was again a problem in 2016, that the Suicide Squad is traditionally assembled because they're a force that needs to be matched with or could take down Superman.
Yes.
In the event that Superman is not here and there's a Superman level-esque threat, or Superman goes bad and they can take down Superman.
I think they did right not to mention that this time.
No, they really did. Because the DC have a big Superman problem when it comes to, and we spoke about this on the Zack Snyder's Justice League podcast.
Yes.
When Superman comes in, the fun stops.
He's too powerful.
Because there is no point in the Justice League existing because
Yes.
Superman could kill them all in a second.
Again, like I said, we said this in the Justice League episode, but that entire final act, the final battle against fucking what's his cunt name? Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf.
It's pointless.
Yeah.
Everything that everyone does up until Superman arrives is pointless.
Yeah.
And they don't have a moment where they all rally together and use their strengths together.
No.
It's all done by
I
Superman.
mean, it's even a joke that Superman comes in and is like, "Now I'm here to save the day."
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's like the rest of the Justice League are like, "What the fuck are we doing here?" Yeah.
Or just stand around in the background and wave.
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
essentially just what happens. And there are ways to have a character that powerful and make him interesting and to do and dampen him in whatever way or have characters who can come up against him or just write creative ways around it.
Yeah.
It is possible, but DC for some reason they're just interested in having
A god,
a god, yeah, and his friends.
like a fucking deity that is untouchable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And a god who also hates being Superman.
One of the classic characteristics of Superman.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
That's another movie.
Yeah, we're getting sidetracked. But the in the 2016 one, all of their powers mean nothing.
Yeah.
None of their powers work or do anything.
They're just people with guns and bats.
Yeah, I'd argue that El Diablo is the only thing that comes even remotely useful, and even then, it's a distraction more than anything.
Yes. He just takes one look of fucking Superman's laser vision and he's gone.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And so in this, I was worried because then they introduced an even dumber set of powers in this. So you've got a woman that can control rats. Not enhanced in any way, shape, or form. She has a thing that can control rats.
Which is fucking ridiculous.
It's so dumb.
It's the stupidest idea ever, but it's great.
You've got a man that can shoot polka dots out of his face.
Again, fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and looks
but also
visually very good though.
Looks visually very good and is very good as well.
But that's the thing. They're played off as jokes.
Exactly.
Bloodsport just can shoot people. Rick Flag can shoot people. Harley can shoot people. Right. And obviously, she's got her acrobatics, which she gets a lot more to do with.
She does, yeah.
What I liked in this movie is that Harley used her acrobatics to kill people and in violent combat situations instead of twirling on a pole.
That's good.
But I digress. So with an even dumber set of powers, I was like, oh, for fuck, how are they gonna how is Starro gonna die to this?
But then you also have the fact that there was members of the team with even more ridiculous powers who were just immediately killed.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion played Arm Fall Off Boy or the dismemberment, the detachable kid.
TDK, which is
the detachable kid, but in the comics he's Arm Fall Off Boy.
Yeah.
Whose powers are basically his arms come off and then they just go and they slap.
Yeah,
They just give them a little
and he can still control them. He still feels pain through them. It's just like they're in a different place.
They're just more of an annoyance than anything.
Yeah, it's way more of a distraction than anything.
Yeah, and immediately killed. There's that alien woman. What could she do again?
The
Strong?
orange one.
Yeah,
I
she
think
grabbed
she was
that
just
helicopter.
super strong. Yeah.
Yeah, dead.
Yeah.
What could Pete Davidson do?
What could he do? Betray them. Which he
Well,
does.
yeah, he does immediately do that.
Yeah.
And then is immediately killed. And then there's Weasel. Who
Weasel's just a big thing.
He's just a big weasel. They say he can, do some damage, but
Yeah.
then he just immediately fucking drowns because they didn't think to check if he could swim.
Yeah.
Or so we think, anyway.
Yeah, it's like a lot of it is like I say in the opening scene, a lot of it's played for laughs. A lot of it's like they're just dispatched off immediately, and how they're killed. We said recently in the Black Widow movie, every punch was felt.
Yeah.
My God, if every punch was felt in that movie, then I felt like I was getting beat around the fucking head in this.
Yeah.
Like Pete Davidson, and it's the first big close-up death you see that's very violent. Pete Davidson, it's an extreme close-up on his face.
Oh my God, yeah.
He walks over and says, "Guys, it's me. I called you guys. They're over here, all my homies. They're like, there's 8 of them, whatever. Come and arrest them now, but let me in like we discussed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love money and betraying people." And then his fucking head gets caved in.
His like face is ripped
His
off.
entire face is just basically fucking It gets cut in half.
And then I think you
essentially.
see like a soldier on the team whose head is just sliced open,
Yeah.
like diagonal,
With a
like his-
boomerang.
with Captain Britain. He actually used the boomerang.
Yeah.
His brain is just fucking decapitated.
Yeah.
From his body.
Captain Boomerang threw more boomerangs in 5 minutes in this movie than he did in 2 hours in the last one.
Yeah. Again, they just managed, James and his team just managed to find a way to use them to much better effect
Yeah,
than
big
they
time.
did in 2016 and in a short amount of time as well.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
We can cut some
Peter
bits out.
Capaldi I liked as well. He was good as the thinker, this sort of like mad scientist who, at first I quite liked the character. I didn't think there was anything necessarily wrong with him. He
Yeah.
was quite a kind of likable person, I guess. You just saw him as a scientist who was interested in Starro and learning what he could.
Yeah.
As the movie goes on, you learn that he's the one who has been torturing not only Starro, but then people
Yeah.
and everyone else who he's experimented on over the years as well.
Yeah.
But he does get a great Doctor Who speech moment.
Oh, he does. Yeah. And he, what does he say? There's some
Yankee fucking doodle do.
Yeah, there's some choice lines. There's like 30 years of research burnt to the ground by a fucking run-of-the-mill coup.
It's I'm reminded before when he was announced as the Doctor, but before he actually started, no one knew what obviously the 12th Doctor's personality was going to be like.
Yeah.
So all they did was just take his character from the thick of it, Malcolm Tucker, and imagine that as the Doctor.
Oh, and he swears like a sailor, doesn't he?
Just
Yeah.
the most angry, swearing man possible. And what I like is you kind of get a mix of the Doctor and Malcolm Tucker in this character.
You do. Yeah, it's true.
So it's like that finally coming to light, and it's great to see.
Yeah.
Like I say, it is like, I think James Gunn must have seen that anti-war speech from the Zygon episode of Doctor Who that he did, and they just went, do that, but add more swears.
Yeah, and then that's it. That's the character. Yeah,
But it's great. It's great.
it is. Yeah, no. This. What? All right. What do you think about the film as a whole? Then, we've spoken a little bit, but like the effects look great. The mocap for Weasel and Shark.
King Shark is
great.
also great. Stallone as the voice is incredible.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily a huge fan of Stallone, but as the voice actor for fucking King Shark.
Yeah.
He's got the book at the beginning as well. It's something like, me smart, me read.
Yeah, he's amazing, and it's what I like. It's more like Amanda Waller based. It's that she's because this is not the first Suicide Squad, unlike the 2016 one where it's new and they're kind of suiting up for the first time they've ever done this.
The Suicide Squad is an established fact.
Suicide Squad is
an established program,
and it's they're called Task Force X, but it's like the nickname given to them is Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
and they even say like that's a little
we don't like that.
Yeah, we don't like that. You're talking about us dying.
Yeah.
And there's an amazing kind of moment where Amanda Waller has obviously been dealing with this for years. Just these bunch of fucking weirdos. And when King Shark goes, she goes, "Has anyone got any questions?" He raises his hand. She goes, "Yes," and he goes, "Hand." You can just hear her, and it's not a close up or anything. It's just in the background, just her going, "Yeah, that is your hand." It's just so
She's
sick
great.
of it.
Viola Davis is just. I mean, this isn't anything new, but she's just an amazing actress.
Yeah.
She's fucking incredible in pretty much, in everything she's in. I don't think anyone really has anything bad to say about Viola Davis. She is the villain. And Amanda Waller that's nothing new. Again, Amanda Waller is always the villain. She's always the worst person in the room. But, she just plays that part so well.
What do you think about her office friends? Because you get a little bit more background of how it works behind the scenes in this.
Yeah, I couldn't necessarily see Amanda Waller working with these people.
No,
I feel like it should be a lot more just want people who would fall in line, I guess.
So I
think these people have too much personality to work with.
I agree, but I also disagree, and there's a reason.
Okay.
So I think every single one of these guys is given a lot of screen time
Yeah.
because they are upcoming main characters in the Peacemaker show.
Yeah.
And I think
That's what it seemed like. Anyway.
yeah, definitely, because for run-of-the-mill office characters, they're given way too much screen time.
Yeah.
And that's not, but they work great in this
Yeah,
movie. It's
they
not
are
like a
good.
discredit. And I think the reason why Amanda Waller was maybe not as vicious and vindictive as she would have been in this, and I truthfully thought there's a scene where she talks to Bloodsport on the phone, and he's like, "We're all free. I see my daughter. She never sees the inside of a cell. You let us all go. These bombs are removed.
Yeah.
And this never sees the light of day." And he has a great line about how, like, it's not what Flag would have wanted, but you can't fucking have everything. Like, we've got to look after ourselves as well. Which is in character and very good, because he is out for himself and his own personal gain.
Yeah.
But Amanda Waller, she isn't able to blow up their heads because of the fact that she's knocked out by one of the office people.
Yeah.
And who are shown to clearly have a problem with the way she handles things throughout the film. Thinking like little things like, we're not actually going to fucking put his daughter in jail, kill his daughter and shit, are we? Like, that's
Again,
fucked.
it's morality coming into
exactly.
question,
And she has none.
Yeah,
Like,
she doesn't.
vicious.
And that's what I like about her. Because she is the fucking worst of she is worse than anyone in Suicide Squad.
But she does it with a couple of medals on her jacket. Yeah.
And she's decorated for it. She's and that is an interesting character.
Yeah.
She's a ridiculously evil person, but because she's doing it for the American government, because she's on essentially the right side, she's the hero.
That's it.
And it's great. It's it's great commentary, and I think a certain group of people won't like this movie because some people can't handle being told that America isn't necessarily all that great.
Yeah.
And this movie does say that.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that commentary. But
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a sec. I just want to say, so Amanda Waller, she obviously gets knocked out by these people so that the Suicide Squad can go and kill Starro and aren't blown up in the head.
Yeah.
She even says, the American government will see this as a positive development. Let Starro go and massacre all these people. And they're like, no, there's fucking kids here. We're not doing that. The office people knock out Amanda Waller. And then at the end, when Bloodsport's making its demand, she goes, yeah, told you I'd make you a leader. And she's trying to regain control of the situation.
Yeah.
She hangs up the phone and she turns to these office people. And I'm not joking. I was genuinely expecting a pan out to reveal all of them dead in the office.
Yeah, so was I. Yeah.
And they're not, because they're main characters in the show.
It's surprising that they're not.
Yeah.
And maybe this is because of 2016 Suicide Squad, when she just kills the entire room of fucking people that she's with.
Because they didn't have clearance.
Yeah.
Why are they fucking there in the first place then?
No, but yeah, and maybe it is a little bit based on that, but it is surprising, given what we know about this character, given how ruthless she is, that they were still alive.
Absolutely.
But maybe they won't be for long, though.
And that's where I think the TV show's going.
Yeah.
I think it's going to deal with Peacemaker, but I also think it's a guise for an Amanda Waller TV show too.
Okay.
I think Amanda Waller
She's
is
going to be, I fucking hope so.
I mean, I don't see any way they can without her.
Yeah, but I mean, she is pretty much, Peacemaker is pretty much under her control.
Yeah.
I reckon she'll show up, though.
I think she'll show up.
Yeah.
And I think the show's going to deal with that group of people and a confrontation with Amanda Waller that is directly led on from this movie.
Yeah.
And because I basically put it this way, I don't see anyone getting the upper hand over Amanda Waller without her remembering it.
Yeah.
And remembering it viciously. What do you want to see from it?
John Cena killing people.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That's it. Right? Yeah.
And just funny one-liners, I guess.
I don't see any big ideal change. I think he's going to be the funny dressing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a very political show disguised.
I think you will get quite a bit of political stuff.
Yeah.
In there, especially with the character of Peacemaker.
And it's going to be sold as haha Peacemaker.
Yeah, but I think then there'll be this underlying thing.
For example, The Boys is haha Billy Butcher says cunt.
Yeah.
And it's a very political show.
Nazis.
Yeah. Billy Butcher says cunt.
like that meme.
Do you agree with Nazis? Yeah.
Domino meme of Billy Butcher saying cunt, watching a show about fucking destroying Nazis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think it's going to have a lot of that energy.
Yeah, it probably will. And James Gunn, he's directing a few episodes, but he's overseeing the entire series.
Yeah.
So
which I think is a good idea. Cause he has a handle on his characters.
Exactly.
I mean, think about it. When they Disney fired James Gunn, they went, "Who else should do Guardians 3?" And everyone went, "No one, no one but him." And they went, well, I guess we'll rehire him.
Yeah.
And how often do Marvel or Disney go back on what they say?
It was a big moment. They knew they fucked up there,
Big time.
and they did.
Yeah.
But they corrected it. I've just one thing I want to bring up quickly: the moment between Taika and his daughter, who is the girl from Logan, isn't she?
I think she is.
Yeah, let me look that up actually.
Because that's been pissing us off since
because
the
it
cinema.
really looks like fucking.
But then she should be a lot older than that by now.
I don't necessarily think she should, because she was about.
She's a little
looks
girl
about
in Hollywood.
40.
She stays in a time loop. She's always a little girl now. It does look like her.
Yeah, but yeah, no. So that moment, that scene of them like sat on the rooftop, and she's asking like, why do you have this fascination with rats? What is it about rats? And Taika, it's a really nice line. I can't remember exactly, but it's like they're looked upon as the lowest of the low. You know, that they're us essentially, the downtrodden and the cast aside of society. But they actually do a lot of good, and we need them.
If they
for
have a
lot of
purpose,
things.
we have a purpose.
And it's just such a really nice moment
Yeah.
as well. And it says a lot about that character, like why she is then so empathetic as well to the people she meets.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, it's just really nice. Just quickly, cautious time, do you have anything you don't like about the movie?
Look, it's very fresh in my mind because I saw it yesterday. And so far I've done nothing but sing its praises. Truthfully, I don't think so.
Okay.
Like, I think if I had to push for something, I think the pacing in the middle slows down a bit too much.
Yeah.
And that is it. That's an extremely small complaint in a movie that did way more good than it did bad.
I only have one that I can necessarily think of.
Go on.
And it's a minor, not necessarily a minor story.
Is it that it made you think of 2016 Suicide Squad again?
Well, okay, so two things. No, so really the only thing is Rick Flag died so that he could fucking get this news out there.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get out there. And everyone put in so much effort to get the hard drive and all that sort of stuff. And they just kind of made a deal with Waller. Which, you know, it makes sense for the characters and everything like that. It does make sense. And you know, Waller she's not beaten, but she's not lost either.
Yeah,
so
she got what she wanted in a way.
Exactly. So I don't know. I just kind of would have liked to. I would have been interested to see what would happen if that actually did get out. I think it would have been more interesting if it did get out.
And look, maybe there'll be a sequel where it does.
Yeah.
If put it this way, right? Me and DC have not been on the same path for a while. It really revitalized my interest in this set of characters in this universe.
There will be people, and you know, Snyder fans already come out and like they're not necessarily.
We don't like
it.
James Gunn.
Yeah, this
Go
is
away
Zack
then.
Snyder's vision. All right, it was better.
Yeah. Also, Zack Snyder doesn't own this.
Yeah,
He directed a few movies.
I think they definitely just want Zack Snyder to make every single DC movie.
Yeah.
Which I don't even think Zack Snyder wants to do. Yeah, this is the right track for DC. They've struggled for so long. They keep, and I worry because they do keep having gems. They have gems, but then they fumble again.
Yeah.
And this is what's kind of been going with DC. Hopefully, this is a step in the right direction. The last couple of DC movies I've really liked. Birds of Prey, Shazam, I love. I think that's a great movie as well. Aquaman's fine. And this as well. This is... Oh, I don't know if I love it more than Birds of Prey, but it's great. It's really, really enjoyable.
Yeah.
And
I think Birds of Prey and this do different things.
yeah, massively different in terms of what they're about. But yeah, this is definitely the right step. I'm not excited about the Batman because it's Batman and because we've seen we've seen Batman over and over again.
I'm excited for it in a way because it's an actor who I think is a very big underdog in Hollywood.
Yes.
And
I'm
know
excited
he's
to
phenomenal.
see what Robin Pattinson can do.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see this take on possibly Penguin, possibly the Riddler.
Who knows?
I think it is the Riddler actually because they have the question marks, don't they?
Oh, the Riddler's in it, played by the guy in prison that just gets his face caved in. He's an amazing actor. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. And I'm excited to see the interpretation. But again, Batman's been done so fucking much.
Yeah.
It's just kind of bland at this point.
but if they can give us another perfect movie, then I'm fine with it.
This is the direction I had to go in, I think, though. It's just... I mean, again, not for new ground here at all. No new ground has been broken.
Yeah.
But they tried so hard to just catch up to Marvel and get their shared universe started, and they massively fumbled. They just need to take the time to focus on the stuff that works, like this.
I think DC have gone too far in multiple directions that there's no way they can keep a tight canon anymore.
Yeah,
unless they reboot the entire thing, which I don't want, because there are for every bad movie you lose a good one.
Exactly. But then again, we are kind of. I think Flashpoint might do some stuff though. Flashpoint, because seemingly you have two Batman in that. Yeah. You have Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck. So who knows what's well.
They're both just looking to the sunset and pass the torch to Robert Pattinson.
You have someone in a fucking Ben Affleck costume. You don't have Ben Affleck. You have someone there. Yeah. You have someone who looks like Ben Affleck from behind.
And he's in bed still getting paid.
He's on a boat with Jennifer Lopez or whatever.
Yeah. Touching bums.
Touching bums just like he did in 2001. But yeah, like I say, this is the right direction to go in.
Yeah.
More of this, less of 2016.
In my opinion, the only fresh and exciting DC movies have been when you let the director do their shit.
Yes.
When you embrace the dumb, stupid shit.
Yes.
You try and take things too seriously, you try and make everyone a god. Yeah, you might have some fantastic shots and some beautiful cinematography.
Looks great.
But you have bad movies.
And it's 4 hours long.
Anyway,
that was the Suicide Squad, and also a little bit of riffing on Zack Snyder's Justice
Why
League,
not?
But don't tell anyone. So yeah, give this a watch.
Yeah.
I mean, we just spoiled it, which we always say.
Still give it a watch either way.
Give it a watch. Go see it. It's a lot of fun. Even if you know what's coming, you'll still have a great time with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely, go give it a watch. But yeah, that's it for this week. Lawrence,
Nathan,
take this bitch home.
I certainly will. Next week we are doing this movie.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
So that's going to be fun. We haven't decided what it is yet, but
I think we have.
Yeah, we might have done, but we also might be recording something else.
Oh yeah, that's true. We don't know.
So we don't know that.
Yeah, okay.
It's a beautiful segue ruined yet again.
So there we go.
There we go.
Also, go back and listen to last week's episode. Not many people did because it's anime, but it's good.
If you're not racist, you'll listen to it now.
If you don't hate Japanese culture. I see you.
Yeah, exactly. Go listen to two white guys talk about Japanese things.
Yeah, go watch Your Name on Netflix and then listen to that episode. So
it's a good movie.
Don't spoil the podcast.
I won't. Sorry.
You're losing clicks.
No, fuck! Nathan, it's been lovely to have you in my living room. Who knows, maybe we'll have you again at some point. But if not, then I'll see you in the E-space next week.
In the East. I miss Craig.
I miss Craig too. Craig, where you at?
Where is he?
Right. We do new podcasts every single Friday at 10 a.m. They go live. You can get notified when they go live if you follow us at Another Happy Pod on Instagram and Twitter. We post fun stuff. Sometimes we forget to post until we post on Fridays. But
sometimes we post photos of us at a party having a drink.
Who knows? Sometimes we're just having a drink. And sometimes that's what we do. Give us a 5-star review. If you don't, then we can only assume that you didn't listen, because if you did, you'd know this is 5-star caliber stuff. I can only assume that you don't like us and you want us to die, which is actually a form of internet harassment and cyberbullying.
And you're racist.
Exactly. And we will have to show you a year 6 video about cyberbullying and strangers on the internet. Coldplay nonce.
Coldplay nonce.
We
I
all
was just
know
going to say.
Coldplay nonce.
Yes. Everyone knows Coldplay nonce. If
When
you
put your nudes on a USB in the bush.
Everyone just look up Coldplay nonce. There's a fun little evening for you.
It's a good one.
Anyway.
Yeah, we will see you next week. We don't know what we're doing yet.
I know what next week is.
Same, and I'm excited to do it and all that.
We are two people who know what we're talking about next week.
Listen, we're all clued in.
I'm as excited as you are, listeners. Because the movie and or TV show or video game, Lawrence, delete those as appropriate.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I'm excited.
I'm way too excited. In fact, I can't stop thinking about it, and I think we should just do it now.
Yeah.
Who knows? Right, we'll see you next week for that thing.
What do you want from me? Buy another happy pod and say hello to your mother for me.
And your dad.
Oh,
we're inclusive.
Saucy. Ooh. Goodbye.